Welcome to Sunny's Mindset Lab. Today's topic is ego is the enemy. We all have dreams, goals, things we're striving for. But what if I told you that the biggest thing holding you back isn't your boss, or the economy, or bad luck, but something lurking right inside your own mind? Well, today we're diving deep into Ryan Holiday's incredible book, which makes a powerful case that our greatest opponent is, well, us. And this quote right here from the brilliant physicist Richard Feynman, it just hits the nail on the head. This is where the whole battle begins. It starts with the humbling realization that our own ego is a master con artist, and we are its favorite target. Learning to see through its tricks, that's the first and honestly the hardest step on any journey that matters. All right, so before you can defeat an enemy, you have to know what you're up against, right? We need to understand this adversary within. And let's be clear, this isn't about some complex Freudian theory. It's about something way more common, way more subtle that creeps into all of our lives every single day. So what is this ego we're talking about? Holiday describes it as this whiny, petulant child that lives inside of us. You know that voice. The one that insists on being better than everyone else, on getting recognized, on feeling important. That's ego. It's this inflated sense of self that gets so big it starts to bend and distort the reality around us. And this is precisely why it's so incredibly dangerous. This isn't a problem just for narcissists or loudmouths. For all of us, ego is a secret saboteur. It's the thing that stops us from learning, that makes us blind to great opportunities, and that can poison our relationships. It's the quiet enemy that can derail a promising career or a happy life. Now, what's so brilliant about the book is how it breaks this down. This isn't just one big fight. It's a war fought on three distinct fronts, the three critical stages of pretty much any endeavor in life: when we aspire to do something, when we actually achieve success, and, inevitably, when we face failure. So let's explore the battlefield, one stage at a time. Okay, stage one, aspiration. We've all been here. You have a new idea, a new goal, and you're buzzing with excitement and ambition. But this is exactly where ego sets its first, and maybe its sneakiest, trap. It tries to convince you that just talking about doing the great thing is almost as good as, actually doing it. And this brings us to a fundamental choice, a question from the military strategist John Boyd. He asked, do you want to be somebody, or do you want to do something? See, the ego desperately wants to be somebody, the acclaimed author, the famous CEO. It craves the title, the recognition. The other path, the path of to do, is all about the work itself, the quiet, often unglamorous focus on your craft. It's substance over style. This old wisdom from Lao Tzu just says it all. Ego loves to talk. It loves to post about the hustle, announce its grand plans, and tell everyone what it's about to do. But here's the crazy part. Studies actually showed that talking about your goals can trick your brain. You get a little dopamine hit of accomplishment, which then drains the motivation you need to actually do the hard work. Silence and action are your weapons here. So, what's the antidote to all this talk? It's simple, but it's not easy. Become a student, a perpetual student. I mean, get this, after Kirk Hammett became the lead guitarist for Metallica, literally one of the biggest bands on the planet, what did he do? He went out and hired a guitar teacher. He knew he wasn't done learning. That's the mindset. Be a sponge, not a rock. That kind of humility is the ultimate weapon against ego. All right, now let's move to the second battlefield. You've dodged the first trap, you've put in the work, you stayed humble, and you made it. You've achieved success. Now you can finally relax, right? Wrong. In fact, this is where ego gets even stronger and even more dangerous. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? You've reached the summit, so now what? Because with success comes a whole new gang of internal enemies, a fresh wave of temptations, all ready to tear down everything you've worked so hard to build. Success, if we're not careful, can be a poison. Suddenly, there's entitlement whispering in your ear. You earned this, you deserve this. Then paranoia creeps in, making you terrified of losing it all. Then comes a desperate need for control, pushing away the very people who helped you succeed. And pretty soon, you're isolated, alone at the top, trapped in a bubble of your own ego. The great artist Marina Abramović put it perfectly. The moment you start believing your own hype, you're done. It's the death of creativity. Why? Because you stop doing all the things that got you there. You stop listening. You stop learning. You stop taking risks. Ego tells you you've got the magic touch, and that's precisely the moment the magic vanishes.
And that leads us to the final and perhaps the most important battlefield, because that magic will fade. Success never lasts forever. Failure is a part of life for absolutely everyone. A project will flop, you'll get passed over for a promotion, you are going to get knocked down. And what happens in that moment? That defines everything.
After you fail, you have a critical choice. Is this going to be dead time or alive time? Dead time is when you wallow in it. You blame other people, you feel sorry for yourself, you just waste the opportunity. Alive time, on the other hand, is when you use every second of that setback to learn, to strategize, and to turn that failure into fuel. And guess which one ego loves? It chooses dead time every single time. And here's the fundamental difference. Ego takes failure and makes it personal. It screams at you, I failed, therefore I am a failure. It makes it feel permanent. It's a judgment on your character. Humility, though, just sees failure as an event. It's data. It's a lesson. It's an opportunity to get tougher and smarter. That right there is the source of all resilience. So when we put these three stages together, aspiration, success, and failure, a really clear philosophy for living starts to take shape. And this isn't about being meek or having no ambition. Not at all. It's about grounding that ambition in something real, in humility, and in a deep focus on the work itself. And this brings us to what might be the most crucial distinction in the entire book, the difference between ego and confidence. Think of ego like a paper crown. It's fragile, it's fake, and the slightest bit of pressure will crush it. Confidence, however, confidence is earned. It's built, brick by brick, through hard work and actual results. It's based in reality, which makes it resilient. One is a poison, the other is a powerful fuel. So ultimately, it all comes down to this: a simple, three-part guide for life. Be humble when you're starting out so you have room to learn. Be gracious when you succeed so you don't lose yourself. And be resilient when you fail so you can always get back up. That's the path. I love this quote from the philosopher Immanuel Kant that Holiday uses. The idea is that we're all a bit flawed, we're all crooked timber. You're never going to perfectly straighten yourself out and completely eliminate your ego. That's not the goal. The goal is simply the constant, humble effort to be a little less crooked today than you were yesterday. So as we wrap this up, the final question isn't some deep, abstract puzzle. It's a practical choice that you have to make every single day, in every situation. At every stage of your life, you'll find yourself at that fork in the road. One path is paved by ego, the other by humility and hard work. The only question left is, which will you choose?